Welcome, friends and neighbors, to the Splash Live on Civic Center TV. Your inside look at Orchard Lake, Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and West Bloomfield each and every day. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft. Close to home in Orchard Lake, St. Mary's athletes are on the road to glory. One game away from a state championship appearance and 2 victories away from hoisting the Division II championship trophy at Michigan State. Jonathan Montgomery took a trip to O Lake to get the inside scoop on these St. Mary's stars.
Baseball is America's pastime, but for these St. Mary's students, it is the present. I'm here right at Dan Petrie Field where the St. Mary's varsity boys baseball team is gearing up for the quarterfinals in Port Huron. For some of these athletes, this could be essentially their last game. And I talked to some of the seniors on this team about what this program has meant to them for the past 4 years.
It's been great. The last 4 years have been probably the best 4 years of my life, honestly. I've met all my best friends. You know, there's 24 guys on this team. I could call all of them my best friends. You know, it's been a great time. I'm happy with my decision to come here. You know, this place is probably the best baseball spot in Michigan. You know, they've big stage that'll help me get whenever I get to Indiana, and yeah, they've made me a lot better player.
I think failure. I mean, you go 1 for 3. I mean, you're failing 2 out of 3 times. I think it's very important. Just discipline, and you know, baseball's a game of failure, and I think that's very important for people to learn. And it's no other game like it. So just dealing with failure and overcoming those obstacles, I think it's very big. It's a very big life lesson.
Able to look at today, even if it didn't go well, and just flush it, you know, as we'll have a game the next day or a few days after. Just having a short memory and staying consistent with whatever you're doing.
The upcoming juniors and, you know, sophomores and maybe even some freshmen too, there's one thing that, if any advice you can give to them, what are some things that you would tell them?
Honestly, I'd probably say enjoy it, but honestly, we tell those guys that a lot. You know, we're hand in hand with them. Our team bonding, we include them. Work in the field, we're working with them, so they already know what it's like, and I feel like they'll fill the shoes in well. But honestly, if I could say one thing, it would be just enjoy the time, because it's gone by fast.
Every player wants to make an impact on the game, and these players at St. Mary's have done just that. As they take their talents to the next level, win or lose, these players have left a legacy that will not be forgotten. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jonathan Montgomery.
The Eaglets have been on a tear all throughout the season. One of the top teams in Division II, one of the most competitive baseball programs in the state for many years. A chance to bring home the hardware later on this week, and especially over the weekend should they get back to East Lansing on Saturday. We are scheduled to hear from St. Mary's baseball manager Nick DePonio on the program later on in the week. As for the Eaglets, they play on Thursday in the semifinal in East Lansing, and with one more victory, they will return to Michigan State on Saturday with a chance to win it all. Go Eaglets. In West Bloomfield, the end of an era and a legacy that will be felt on the athletic fields and courts for generations to come. Here with the story live from West Bloomfield High School, Civic Center TV reporter Jake Schaff. Jake, thanks for joining us.
Of course. Thank you, Tyler. Good to be seeing you this morning. I'm standing here right outside of West Bloomfield High School, the very same school that longtime athletic director Eric Pierce has called home for the last 25 years. Now, Eric, I mean, he's done a variety of roles here, and of course, he's been on our show many, many times throughout the past several years. And just recently, he announced his retirement from the high school, and he just celebrated his retirement just a few days ago at On the Dunes in Commerce Township. I had the incredible honor to attend this retirement party for Eric. Got to speak with him, got to speak with a lot of people to talk about his influence on this community and what he's truly brought to West Bloomfield athletics.
Yeah, Eric Pierce in his 25 years at West Bloomfield, you know, in the athletic world specifically, has taken a small suburban, middle of Oakland County school district and put us on the map in the state of Michigan. Opportunities for all of our student athletes to pursue athletics at the next level, high scholarly achievements, and truly just made it a community at Laker Nation. As an administrator at the high school, we came in at the same time, so I've known nothing different but to be a colleague and a partner with him in leadership. I'm so excited for him to pursue what's next. We're going to have some learning to do, but he left a good legacy for us to build upon.
Yeah, I mean, he really put West Bloomfield on the map. I mean, when you really think about that, everything he's done for the kids and the program and the staff and his coaches, he's got a ton of respect. He's got a ton of respect from the OAA. Again, overall, tremendous guy. It's going to be a huge loss for the OAA for us, for sure. he puts the kids first. You know, he puts his kids and his coaches first. Obviously, you can see that in everything that he does. He's very passionate about, you know, the not only his programs but the kids in general. Right? Like you're only as good as your strongest, you know, leader that you have, and he's just, again, one of a million.
He is just genuinely caring towards every single person he works with. So I would just say it definitely matters to have some humility and just general joy being around the people he's with. So I would just say that he really puts his heart into his work, and I think that's what sets him apart.
What makes him special, even though he's here working all the time, he makes it out to every single one of me and my brother's games all the time. So he's there to always support us and West Bloomfield. So he's just always there for us.
All the impact that he's had on the children and the kids and the teenagers that he's actually helped throughout the years, it's a blessing to have him in our lives, and it's a blessing for the West Bloomfield community as well.
What do you have to say, seeing all these people here today celebrating your retirement from West Bloomfield High School?
Well, I'll tell you, it's a little overwhelming. It definitely is. But, you know, these are the people that I grew with in my career at West Bloomfield. These are the people that have helped me along the way. These are the people that I've trusted, that I've worked along with, and that have made West Bloomfield, you know, the place that it is right now.
Above all else, what are the most important things you're going to take with you to the next chapter from your time here in West Bloomfield?
You win with people, 100%. You win with people. And when you care about people, when you can talk to people, when you can absolutely, you know, go and know a little bit about them and show an invested interest in them, you're going to win. You're going to succeed.
Such kind words for someone who brought so much to this community. And I should mention one more thing, Tyler. When I was talking with West Bloomfield High School principal Eric Pace, I did have to ask, because, you know, Eric Pace, Eric Pierce, there's been that confusion for so long. So I asked Eric Pace, I said, hey, with Eric Pierce retiring, are you happy that maybe the confusion's finally going to hopefully come to a stop? Eric Pace said this. He said, finally, only the true Eric remains. All in good fun, of course, but so many kind words for Eric Pierce. And I think I speak for everybody with Civic Center TV when I say we thank him so much for all the help he's given us over the years, and we wish him all the best for his retirement.
Yeah, took the words right out of my mouth, Jake, with that, the Pace versus Pierce thing that's been going on. It's a running gag at this point at West Bloomfield High School. But what isn't a joke is the legacy that Eric Pierce has left as athletic director. As Pace had said in his segment with you during that interview, building this program into what it is now, very well respected in Oakland County, very well respected around the state. Teams on the basketball court, football field, even now on the baseball diamond as well. So many other sports across all of the seasons. Teams fear West Bloomfield High School. They put West Bloomfield on their schedules to challenge their teams. That truly the lasting impact of Eric Pierce at West Bloomfield High School. Shane Hines, now the athletic director, and some big shoes to fill as well. Live in West Bloomfield, Jake Schaff, thank you for being with us.
Of course. Thank you, Tyler.
Appreciate the report from Jake and the team out in the field on some of the athletic accomplishments happening after the school year has concluded. Some incredible athletes here in the greater West Bloomfield area will continue to cheer on those West Bloomfield Lakers, and their new athletic director, Shane Hines, will be beginning his new position very soon, coming over from Waterford, and of course cheering on those Eaglets in Orchard Lake as they are on the final stretch to a state title. It could be the biggest day of the summer for your health and well-being. Experts from all over the local area, all focused on you. The annual West Bloomfield Health and Wellness Fair is back next week, and it's in a brand new location. Jake Schaff from our Splash team took some time to chat with West Bloomfield Chamber Director Suzanne Levine about this year's event, the new location, and how it can help you live the healthiest summer of your life.
Suzanne, thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I barely feel old enough to have a 17th annual health fair.
I mean, it just shows how much of an impact it's had over the community to have lasted this long. So jumping into it, what can residents expect when they attend the 17th annual Greater West Bloomfield Health and Wellness Fair?
I think people can expect the same great quality of different vendors, medical and health professionals in the field that can offer all kinds of options to them that perhaps they hadn't thought about, because I think it's really important to be an advocate for your own health. So that's why this health fair is so important.
It is, and having covered this event the last couple of years, it's amazing to see just how many resources are available here in the community and how ready they are to help everyone here. Now, as we mentioned, the fair is going to be moving over to Orchard Mall for this year. Why the change, and why was Orchard Mall selected for this year's event?
I think Orchard Mall is the perfect venue for this kind of event. Not only is it a great opportunity to explore the businesses there, but there's going to be a lot more room for people to, kind of linger at different tables. And I'm really excited that they're participating in this event. And I love the fact that we try to mix things up whenever we can to try to give it a fresh new feel.
Fair enough, and that's great. I mean, Orchard Mall is a very, very great location. They just held the Black Expo just a few months ago, so yeah, they are definitely up for the task. And how do you believe the new venue will enhance the overall experience for both the vendors and the attendees?
I think it's a great experience because people, even in the businesses, will come out and explore some of the options, some of the health and wellness options. And I think people, as I said, there's a couple places to eat, so they can grab something at Shangri-La or at the Jagged Fork or even at Vitality Bowl. And so I think it's a really great opportunity to kind of show people not only all the different great health and wellness options, but all the great businesses that maybe they forgot that exist in West Bloomfield. And Orchard Mall is certainly one of our beautiful jewels here.
Casting an even wider net, showcasing even more of the amazing businesses throughout Greater West Bloomfield. Now, with this being the 17th annual event for the Health and Wellness Fair, are there any new features, vendors, or initiatives that are being introduced this year?
Well, we're really trying to explore different options and different businesses that have joined our chamber. So we're really excited about it. I think going forward, we're going to try to have little maybe mini sessions where people can sit down and listen to a talk for 10 to 15 minutes because we know everyone's very busy. But yeah, we're really trying to mix things up and offer different businesses, different health and wealth. Wealth, of course, different health and wellness options to people that they might not have thought about. And we know that longevity and being proactive with your health is probably the main goal of what we should be focusing on today in our health, conversations.
That's right. Very important topic, and very great that we have these resources available for everybody at a moment's notice. And how important is it truly to provide residents with direct access to local health and wellness resources, especially in an environment like this one?
Well, I think the more you know, the better armed you are. I think it's really very important when you go in to see a doctor or any wellness professional. I think the more questions you have, the more research you do. I mean, of course, we know that a little knowledge can be a dangerous thing, but I do believe that the more options you have at your disposal, the better you will be to make really important decisions about your future health and that of your families too. I cannot stress it enough. I think people really sometimes just, rely on ads on TV, which is not a good way to get your health and wellness information.
Yeah, I don't imagine a lot of those ads, especially if that's the only place you're going to get your medical information. I don't see that being very beneficial in the long term. It's much better to have this direct communication with the health professionals themselves. For those just joining us on the Splash Live, I'm talking with Suzanne Levine, the Executive Director of the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce, who's giving us a preview of this year's Health and Wellness Fair, which is going to be taking place on Tuesday, June 16th, at Orchard Mall alongside Orchard Lake Road. Now, Suzanne, how does the Chamber work to ensure that this event really remains relevant to the community's changing health and wellness needs?
Well, we know that we have a very dynamic community, a very diverse community with all different health needs. And we know that we have a very large senior population. So, of course, we will be addressing a lot of their concerns. But I think that when you start looking and reading and doing research, everything right now points to, being proactive with your health, longevity, anti-aging information. How do we stay healthy? How do we avoid surgery? How do we avoid going to the ER? maybe we should look at urgent care options. There's so many different things that people really need to consider when they look at their overall health. And that's why it's so great that we have such a diverse group of health and wellness professionals, so they can get all this information, sit down with their families and discuss them and see what will work best for them.
That's right. And we want this event to really kickstart those very important conversations that every family should be having. Now, it's amazing to see this event take place every single year, but partnerships and sponsors, those truly do help to make this event as successful as it is. Could you talk a little bit more about the partnerships and sponsors in play to help this event?
We're so fortunate because, of course, Civic Center TV is always a great sponsor of this event in West Bloomfield Township. It's so great when we can coordinate with the township, because we know that the businesses in the township really need to, collaborate and work together for the success of our community. We also have Nina LePayton with Direct Hearing, who's been a great sponsor of this event. And we know that hearing is along with sight, is probably the two most important things that you really should not ignore. If you can't hear what's going on, then you are missing an entire world. So she's a great sponsor of this event. And so is our big sponsor, Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital. We love partnering with them, but we have some other partners that are starting to come forward, and you'll start to see them as we send out the flyer. And we're very grateful to everyone that, helps sponsor this event, because it's really important for the community to see their options and to see who is supporting our community and our businesses.
We want to see more and more of these businesses joining this incredible event as it continues to grow. It's already grown so much, but it's going to continue to grow. And that's what I want to go into next. I got a couple more questions for you, Suzanne. What are your long-term goals for the future growth and impact of the Health and Wellness Fair in Greater West Bloomfield?
Well, I'd like to see, more information about AI and health, and see, what the pitfalls are and how people, yes, it can be a great resource, but it also can be a great opportunity for some danger. So I'd like to see that going forward. I'd like to see more interactive medical and health and wellness, sort of focus where the people, more screenings and more ways, like with, mammograms and colonoscopies. Obviously, we can't do it there, but, giving people more information about all these really important screenings that can determine their long-term health. And I neglected to mention West Bloomfield Parks and Rec is also a very big sponsor of this event, and we're very appreciative that we can work with them side by side to help our community.
So many people coming out to help this incredible event, and the stage is set for June 16th. Suzanne, where can people go to gain a little bit more information about this year's Health and Wellness Fair, and where they can go if they want to help out?
They can go to westbloomfieldchamber.com. We have the information there. It's free to the public. There is a charge to be a vendor, but we hope the whole entire community and people that are outside of our community, because we know that people do come to West Bloomfield for a lot of resources, whether it's medical, whether it's restaurants, whether it's shopping. So we're hoping that this event attracts people outside of our community as well. They can call me at 248-626-3636. Or they can email me at wbloomfieldchamber@gmail.com. And I'm always happy to promote not only our chamber, our community, but all of our events. And we have a lot of really great upcoming events, and we're always so grateful for everything that Civic Center TV does to promote them, because I think it's a really important, community service that you provide.
And we want to thank you as well for helping to put a lot of these events together. You are a big driving force in that, Suzanne. Thank you so much for joining us today here on the program.
Thank you again.
More info on the West Bloomfield Chamber's Health and Wellness Fair is available on westbloomfieldchamber.com, or follow them on their Facebook page at West Bloomfield CC. Or you can just stay tuned right here on Civic Center TV for our additional coverage of the 2026 Health and Wellness Fair, now taking place on Tuesday, June 16th at the June 16th it is. That's Tuesday, June 16th at the Orchard Mall. Close to home in West Bloomfield, an opportunity for kids with disabilities to experience fun, make new friends, and grow into their best self. And you can help make the journey special as well. The Friendship Circle is seeking volunteers for their summer camp program to aid in activities, improving campers' social skills, and of course, making core memories for the kids. Joining us now with more information is the Friendship Circle's volunteer coordinator, Caitlin Silva. Caitlin, thanks for coming on the show today.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. So happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you on as we get ready for summer camp season. So many of our kids will have those experiences at overnight camps, or many of them close to home at their day camps, and the variety of programs across our community. This is a unique one because because your programs are primarily for kids with disabilities, both children and teenagers in particular. How does camp provide them with enriching experiences that may be similar or different from other kids that do not have disabilities?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I would say Friendship Circle Summer Camp is unique in our focus in friendship and inclusion, first and foremost. We really hone in on the friendship piece by providing team volunteers, dedicated teenagers who come and are paired one-on-one buddy style with each of our campers. So you're really given that support, that peer friendship to really experience the summer camp with you. And then as far as inclusion goes, honing in on that even further by adapting all of our activities to each kiddo and their needs, and just making sure each kiddo is successful, feels valued, and has an amazing summer experience that, like you said, every kiddo deserves to have and should have. So I would say it's different in that we really hone in and make sure each individual kiddo is having the best experience and is supported with everything that they have and need. And also providing peace of mind with the parents as well, knowing that their kiddo is somewhere where they're supported, they're accepted for exactly who they are, but they also get to have that one-of-a-kind summer camp experience that every kiddo should have, being outside and joining in activities and having fun in the sun.
And that structured time, both instructional or just open, fun time that has other people around them interacting and providing that social connection, it is something that's really important for kids that may be on the autism spectrum or may have physical disabilities that in a traditional school recess may hinder them from being engaged in some of those activities. How important is a program like this in the summer for enriching kids that may not have those opportunities day to day during the school year?
Absolutely. So that's exactly what I was going to touch on, is so many times throughout the school year, unfortunately, our kiddos experience some isolation, some limitation in either their school structure or their playground structure. And so just providing a space where they really can just be themselves, no limitation, not wondering if they're going to fit on the swing or if anything's going to, work out for them, just knowing they're going to have the best time, that they're going to be surrounded by volunteers, staff, who are only there to support them and make sure they have the best time, and letting them just be a kid and letting them have that free expressive time that every kiddo needs to kind of unwind from the school year, and also still providing that daily place to go, because so many kiddos, are used to and need that structure of school and all of the appointments they go to. So not only does it give them a break from all of the stuff, but also provides that much needed structure when school year is paused as well. So a fun version of some structure that can still keep you grounded, but still let you be a kid at the same time.
More information on the Friendship Circle summer camp programs is available on friendshipcircle.org. Caitlin Silva is with us, their volunteer coordinator. That's what we're here to talk about today, those volunteer opportunities. Caitlin, let's begin with how these volunteers help in these efforts with the Friendship Circle throughout the summer.
Yeah, so the volunteers really are the heart of what we do. They really are what provides that friendship piece, that engagement piece, making sure each kiddo is supported and has that buddy and that friend to experience that camp with them. So that way they leave with a sense of belonging, a sense of confidence, even further social skills, and just everything that goes far beyond the summer camp. The kiddo leaves with more confidence. The volunteer leaves more confidence and leadership skills. So it really is a dual benefit relationship there, where you see both the camper and the volunteer grow from getting to experience a summer together. And it's really beautiful to see in both sides of the relationship.
And how do you find that growing relationship with someone that may be of a similar age to them, maybe slightly older but a young adult, someone they can at least somewhat relate to? How does that help improve some of their social dynamics or social relationships outside of the home?
Yeah, well, I think first and foremost, it reminds them that they matter and that what they are going through matters. If they're afraid to go on the water slide, that matters. And they have a buddy there that can walk them through it, talk them through it, hold their hand down the water slide the first time and help be there to support them and also prove to them that they matter and, their fear is valid, but also that they can do it. And so I think it's immeasurable to just remind them that there's people who will support them and that they can talk to others and advocate for themselves, and you're not alone and that you belong.
And it does take a unique individual to be able to fulfill the needs of these kids, because they do have very unique circumstances that not everybody in the community is aware of, and certainly that not everybody in the community knows how to cope with, as these kids have had to learn to do so throughout their lives. So as you're looking for volunteers, what are some of those qualities that people should be bringing with them as they volunteer with the Friendship Circle this summer?
Absolutely. Well, I think first and foremost, no experience required. We're here to support you, give you guidance. I see so many teen volunteers nervous on their first day, and then even by the first week, they realize it's just as simple as making friends and making friends with some of the coolest kiddos you'll ever meet. So I'd say as long as you've got an open heart and willing and wanting to make an impact on the world and wanting to connect with others, don't be afraid. It's okay to be nervous, but we're here to support you through it. And what you're doing is so valuable that it's worth the little internal push out of your comfort zone for what you'll give back and also what you'll get out of it too. So I'd say don't be afraid, and we're here to support you.
How do people get involved if they are interested in volunteering?
Yeah, so best way would be to go to email, reach out to our coordinators at info@friendshipcircle.org, and we'd be happy to connect with you, give you a tour of the building, connect you with other volunteers who have done it before, and make sure you feel set up for success before your first day of camp.
That website again is email again is info@friendshipcircle.org. Caitlin Silva is with us on the Splash Live today, previewing volunteer opportunities that are actively available if you want to help with the Friendship Circle's summer camp programs. Caitlin, for volunteers in the past, are the best example for people that may be considering this, maybe are on the fence, a little apprehensive about starting the process. Just what kind of impact can these volunteers had these volunteers had on some of the kids at past year's camps?
Yeah, oh gosh, such a big impact. Long-lasting friendships, even past the summer camp. We'll see so many volunteers stay connected with their kiddos past camp, attend their birthday parties, attend their graduations even, and vice versa. So you're really providing an experience for a summer, but potentially providing not only an experience internally for a lifetime, but a friendship that could last a lifetime and a greater understanding of everybody in our community.
And how does this experience, especially that unique relationship that is built over the course of this camp, how does that help particularly the families of these kids that may struggle to find those social opportunities, especially those inclusive opportunities in the summer or really any time of the year?
Absolutely. That's really, a big driving force of what we're trying to do is give those parents a peace of mind. And it's hard to find a place that is willing and able to support every kiddo and their specific and unique needs. So we really pride ourselves in communicating with each parent, making sure we're set up for success and we can completely support your kiddo and make sure they have an amazing day. So I think it's a really good peace of mind to know you can drop them off, know that we will accept any and all parts of you, your family, your kiddo, and ensure that they have a great day. That way you can have peace of mind during your day as the parent.
What should other entities, and whether it's schools or other programs, other summer camps, what can they learn from the opportunities that are available to the kids through the Friendship Circle? Because as much as we want kids to attend the Friendship Circle summer camps and their other programs, it would be really great to have these be more these inclusive programs be more available to kids throughout Greater West Bloomfield and surrounding areas.
Yes, no, I would love to see so much inclusion everywhere, like you said, every camp, being able to provide support for everybody. And I would say the biggest thing to start with, I think, really our driving force, one of the biggest things that help us stay supportive around anything is our yes attitude. And whenever we're brought a certain kiddo with a certain regiment or anything that we might just not be sure of, a new activity, a new field trip, we always start with yes first. And we always try to find out, how can we do this? How can we support them? What do they need? What do we need to bring on to make sure that they're successful? And we always start with our yes attitude. And we always focus on what we can do to make sure the day and the kiddo is successful and supported. So I think that could be honed in on and adopted by all camps and schools and programs. And as long as you start with that yes attitude, even if it's scary or you're not sure or you've never done it before, I think it's important to be curious and see first how you can support somebody or how you can support your community, and what you can do to make sure it works out and the kiddo feels included, rather than just being like, oh, I'm not sure about that. So yes attitude first, I think, is the biggest thing that keeps us moving forward.
If you're taking on that yes attitude, you can begin by sending an email to info@friendshipcircle.org or find out more information on the Friendship Circle summer camp programs and other volunteer opportunities. The website, friendshipcircle.org. Their volunteer coordinator, Caitlin Silva, joins us on the Splash Live. Caitlin, we've talked so much about what the kids get out of this and what is sought after in the volunteers. When they get to the end of the summer, the end of these camp experiences, what have you found that the volunteers get out of this experience?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's funny, you'll see one teenager start their first day of camp, and by the end of the 6-week summer, or even if they just are with us for a couple of the weeks, by the end of their journey with us in the summer, you see so much leadership. You see them grow into their own little, mini young adult, and you really see them get more confidence in themselves and their decision making and their ability to support people. You see them jumping in to help support other campers that aren't even their buddy that they might not have gotten to know throughout the summer, and you really just see them own themselves and own their newfound confidence and self-assurance that not only do they matter and they make a difference, I think it can be a big impact on our teenagers, who are another isolated community, unfortunately, many times in our society. So giving them a place to belong as well, and giving them a place to know they have purpose and know that their presence matters in another kiddo's experience. And so it proves to the teenager as well that they also matter.
And these are the building blocks that often lead to us seeing children and teens or even young adults with disabilities that go on to do amazing things because of the inspiration they get from these moments when, unfortunately, so much else in our society tries to pull that away from them. Caitlin, anything else you'd like us to know before we say goodbye today?
No, I think like you said, we're not just trying to entertain, kiddos and teens for a summer. We're really trying to build skills and a feeling of belonging that will last a lifetime, far past our camp. So thanks so much for having us. Appreciate having you on. Caitlin Silva, volunteer coordinator with the Friendship Circle, joining us on the Splash Live. Thank you so much for your time. Info@friendshipcircle.org. If you'd like to attend the summer camps as a volunteer, help these kids and help the Friendship Circle staff all summer long, you can also follow along and learn more about their programs on friendshipcircle.org. We'll take a break on the Splash Live. Plenty more coming up, including a Detroit broadcasting legend who will join us on the other side of this break. Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV.
Why vaccinate? Because this little girl has the measles. Not in 1950, in 2026. Diseases like measles and whooping cough are back, and cases are rising because some families are missing vaccinations. Vaccines are safe, and they protect your child and others from 18 preventable diseases. So vaccinate, because when it comes to diseases like measles and polio, no one wants to go back in time.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy. And if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
Welcome back to the Splash Live, local, social on Civic Center TV, online on civiccentertv.com. And hey, look, we know you don't have all the time in the world to spend an hour with us each and every day throughout your week. So you can join us on demand anytime on civiccentertv.com and watch at your leisure, or see the clips and the special moments by following us on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15 and on X, on Instagram, and now also on TikTok, as well as YouTube at Civic Center TV. Coming this week, a play based on a best-selling book at Temple Shir Shalom. The National Council of Jewish Women's Michigan Division is hosting Love, Loss, and What I Wore on Tuesday, June 9th at Temple Shir Shalom, featuring a rotating cast of 18 very talented women, plus your chance at some fun prizes as well. Jake Schaff from our Splash team spoke to Sandy Metz and Lauren Konigsberg for a special preview.
Thank you both so much for joining us today.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Of course,
Thank you, Jake.
Of course, glad to have both of you with us. Really interested in hearing about this production. Let's just jump into it. What drew you to Love, Loss, and What I Wore and made you want to help bring this production to the West Bloomfield community? Sandy, we'll start with you.
Well, what I wanted to gain by bringing this to our community is to showcase memories. What do you think of when you see a blouse or a skirt? What memories are triggered? Are they good memories? Are they bad memories? And very often clothing does trigger what was going on in your life when you wore something.
Lauren, what about you?
And even though this is basically a celebration of women, I think the themes that are running through this play, such as identity, memory, and loss, resonate with all members of this community.
I think so too, especially when they see what's on the stage. They'll feel a lot of emotions. They'll feel they can really put themselves, they can really see themselves with the characters and what's being put on the stage. Now, Sandy, what makes this play unique compared to more traditional stage productions people might have seen before?
Well, most stage productions, people have memorized their lines and they are moving around the stage. This is unique because it is read. Nothing is memorized, and they're very short monologues. And we have women that will be standing at a music stand reading their pieces. But that doesn't mean they're not acting, because they are.
Yeah, I can imagine that. You can still definitely feel the emotions, even if it's a little more unorthodox than what a traditional play is. You can still feel the emotions, and you can still really put yourself in what's on stage. Lauren,
right.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
One more thing. And we also, it appealed to many members of the community who perhaps would not have chosen to be in a play because they have to memorize or they have to be able to act. And since you're in one place and you're reading, we did reach a variety of people throughout the community.
I can understand that as well. I've been in stage productions before. I'm actually preparing for one in a couple months. It can be a lot to memorize those lines and really memorize everything. So this kind of does help take the pressure off a little bit. Now, Lauren,
right.
How personal does this material feel when performing stories centered around memories, clothing, and life experiences?
Well, I felt like it was very personal because it brought back many memories. A lot of them were positive, some were negative. And I think it brings back memories from different times in your life. And I think that will do that for many of the people in the audience as well.
I hope so too. I hope everybody walks away from this play watching it and feeling something as they leave the theater. Now, Sandy, this play balances humor with emotional moments. How important is that balance and maintaining that balance when it comes to connecting with the audiences?
Oh, Jake, it is so important right now. You know, in our lives, there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of things going on in the world. We have gun violence. We have political issues. We really wanted everyone to come and have a good time, to smile, to relax, to put everything behind them for a couple hours. And some of the pieces are very emotional. A dress that makes you remember a funeral that you attended, or a shirt that was lost and never found. The monologues may have been written a long time ago, but they're still very relevant today.
Yeah, I can imagine that a play like this still has very powerful moments that can appeal to everybody. And you're right, it is important to have these plays and have these kind of things to use as an escape from the world and how it can bring us down on a day-to-day basis. Something like this can help immerse people in a different environment. Lauren, correct. I'm curious, what do you think audiences in West Bloomfield and Metro Detroit, out of everything, will relate to most with these stories?
I think that they'll relate to an outfitter situation because it'll relate through their own lens of their own past, and they'll value it through their own personal history.
Yeah, that's a great thing for people to remember as they come and see this show. For those just joining us on the Splash Live, I'm talking with Sandy Matz and Lauren Koenigsberg, the director and one of the actresses with an upcoming production of Love, Loss, and What I Wore that's going to be taking place on Tuesday, June 9th at 7 p.m. at Temple Shir Shalom. Now, Lauren, staying with you for a minute, as you're one of the actresses in this production, was there a particular monologue or maybe a moment in the play that really resonated with you on a personal level?
Well, the one that, and it made me laugh, was the shoes that I shouldn't have bought, because I did buy a pair of very high heels. I wore them to a wedding. Of course, I never took them off because they look beautiful. My feet were killing me, and the monologue says the same thing. She's praying to God that she can last through the whole thing. That was me as well. And of course, vanity stood in the way. And I think many people will relate to that because I'm sure it's happened to a lot of people. And they felt the same way. Of course, they're not going to wear a lower heel. Of course, they're not going to wear flats. They're going to buy those beautiful shoes, and they're going to buy them because, not because they're comfortable, but because they love them.
That's right. I think there's going to be a lot of very relatable moments all throughout this play. Now, Sandy, this event also supports the work of the National Council of Jewish Women for Michigan. Why was it important to combine theater with philanthropy and community outreach?
Well, community outreach is very important to NCJW, and the reason that we're doing a play is because it is a fundraiser for us, and it supports all our community impact projects. We have achieved our outreach in our cast. We have many women from all walks of life in the community. It's not just board members of NCJW. So we have reached out to the community. We reached out through newsletters and Facebook. And we have some people that never have been inside NCJW before. And we expect cast audience members also not from NCJW. But it's important to know that the majority of the clothes that we are showcasing in the play come from Council Resale, which is a resale store in Berkeley owned by NCJW Michigan. So everything that we do supports our impact projects as well as the advocacy work that we do.
That's amazing that you guys are bringing more people in to the National Council of Jewish Women for Michigan, and also you're supporting other businesses all along the way. That is always amazing to see. Sandy, Lauren, I got a couple more questions before we wrap things up. This next question is for both of you. Why do you believe storytelling productions like this remain so important in bringing communities together and encouraging empathy all across generations? Sandy, we'll start with you.
Okay, well, storytelling is very important because the audience may have conversations with people while they're sitting, and they're going to remember articles of clothing. They're going to remember a dress they wore to a party, or remember something that was really fun, or they may remember something that was hurtful. And again, I go back to our community impact projects, and we do a lot of things for children in the court system or in the hospital. And storytelling will get people to start talking and communicating and talking about all the things that NCJW does.
Lauren, same question.
I'm hoping that this will cause people to reflect on their own lives and how they could possibly remember things that were good, were bad, and give them a little levity in a situation where things are very serious right now in our daily lives.
I like that, and I hope everybody takes away something from this production as they come and see it. Last question for both of you before we wrap things up. People are going to be feeling a lot of feelings when they go and see this show. There might be sadness, there might be joy, there might be anything. Above all else, what do you hope audience members are thinking or feeling as they leave the theater after seeing the show that evening? Lauren, we'll start with you.
I think that the themes, like I said at the beginning, of identity, memory, and loss will resonate with all members of the community, young and old. And I'm hoping that a production like this will build empathy because it tells a story.
Sandy.
I hope that people leave this production feeling good. I hope that they feel goodness in their heart. They're helping women, children, and families by attending. And I also hope that they go home and pull something out of their closet that they haven't worn in a long time, but remember an event that they wore it or something that they did that gave them joy.
That's perfect. Finding those old outfits, invoking that joy, and remembering the memories that come along with it. Sandy, Lauren, thank you both so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
You can grab tickets right now. There's a couple different ways that you can get them for the show. ncjwmi.org. Again, a lot of letters there. ncjwmi.org, or call Temple Shir Shalom 248-355-3300. That will be at extension 0 to purchase those tickets. Coming soon, close to home, a story of family roots, a passion for sports, and stories of living proof that laughter is the best medicine. Wednesday, June 17th, right here in Greater West Bloomfield, two Detroit broadcast legends come together to talk about a life and career of adventure. Joining us now, a man whose name alone is his introduction here in Metro Detroit. It is longtime Local 4 sports anchor, the great Bernie Smilowitz. Bernie, thanks for coming on the show.
Tyler, thank you for having me.
Happy to have you on as you are getting ready for this presentation. It'll be you along with your longtime colleague and good friend, Devin Skillian, who will be talking about a lot of different topics. We know from your long career at Local 4 that so much of what you presented to our community and made us fall in love with sports had to do with humor. What role has humor played in your life, both before, during, and after your broadcast career?
That's a great question. I always felt that you had to inject humor into the show because many guys or many sportscasters felt that you were doing sports for men. And that's the simplest way to say it. And women were kind of left out. And I always thought if you had a more well-rounded sportscast where you gave the information and you entertained, that would attract a larger audience. And it worked out well for me. I mean, I spent 40 years at Channel 4 here. So humor was a big part of it, and it's a big part of my personal life also.
And so telling these stories, it's important because you are able to tell kind of your journey both in and around broadcasting, as well as Devin Skillian's, and bring that all together. What ultimately inspired you to participate in this special event and bring this to our community?
Well, it's interesting because they called me and I accepted, and I was just going to give a speech, which I normally give, which I did at the JCC a couple of months ago too. And they said, would you rather have somebody sit with you and just ask you questions? And I said, great. And they said, any ideas who? And I go, how about Devin? So I called him up and he was all in. So he's going to moderate this and I'm going to answer the questions as we go along. So it'll probably be a lot more enjoyable than it would be if I just stood there for 45 to an hour and just droned on about everything. So we'll have a great time. I promise you that. We did this once before at the Holocaust Museum and it went over really, really well.
This is an event co-sponsored by Temple Israel, and those members of the Temple Israel community will be able to get tickets for free to this event, and they're all otherwise available online on Facebook at the Jewish Historical Society of Michigan, Facebook at Jewish Historical Michigan. And if you're a member of either the Jewish Historical Society of Michigan or Temple Israel, your tickets will be free. Bernie Smilowitz with us on the Splash Live. The title of your presentation is Permission to Laugh. Very inviting, very eye-catching. Where did that title come from? Why was that what you ultimately chose to introduce this presentation?
It's interesting that you asked that because one of the ones we thought of was Permission to Smile. But we all talked about it and we thought permission, because of Smilowitz, we thought it would be the perfect thing to call it. But what we really decided was smiling, anyone can do that. Laughing, that's a whole other level that you've got to reach. So we decided we wanted to reach that level, and we think we're going to do it.
And in a time like this, to be able to have this presentation, to have organizations like the Ziegelman Holocaust Center as well as Temple Israel be involved, and that also incorporates some of your family's history, your second generation from a family of Holocaust survivors. How does that make this an even more intimate experience for you to tell these stories with these organizations in the times that we're living in now?
It's a great question, and we do live in just awful times, especially if you're Jewish. Anti-Semitism at an all-time high. You saw the incident at Temple Israel. My feeling is that until we all feel that that Temple in Israel incident was an abhorrent act to all of us, I'm not sure we're going to ever get out of this thing. Everybody has to feel that way. You cannot allow it, whether it was a mosque, a church, a synagogue. You've got to feel that whatever that guy was planning to do would be horrible. If it happened in a mosque and you were Jewish, you should feel horrific about that also. But my personal history, my mom was one of 1,100 people to walk out of Auschwitz on the day they were liberated by the Russians. And my dad also was in a concentration camp, and he escaped and worked for the underground and things like that. And my parents came here from Europe in 1947, 48, met in New York and had me. And my mother was the funniest person I know. And all I can say is to have gotten through Auschwitz for 2 years and to still have a sense of humor and to laugh and to want to make people laugh, it's quite an accomplishment. I don't know anyone today who could have overcome what my parents overcame, especially my mother. But she did, and she had 2 boys, and couldn't be prouder that she had 4 grandchildren, and she has passed away as well as my dad, but her legacy is well entrenched in our lives and in our hearts.
And it's pretty remarkable as we look throughout some of the most harrowing times of history that so much of what continues to connect us is sports, is humor. We look to our entertainers, we look to our athletes for that inspiration. And on the surface level, it can seem kind of silly, but you, with your sense of humor, how you presented that in your broadcast career, and what we look at when we see inspirational moments in our Detroit sports teams, how can both of those, both humor and sports, help to bring communities together when it seems like we are so divided nowadays?
Well, I just point to whenever a team wins a championship, the whole city, convalesce, gets together and just comes together, and it's a great feeling for the city. I mean, I'm not sure where you were or if you even have age, but when the Red Wings won 4 Stanley Cups and the Pistons won a couple of championships, I was there for all of those. And it was an amazing feeling going to those parades and everything. And it really united the city and everything like that. We could use a championship or 2 here now to do the same thing again.
Yeah, absolutely, we could, and we're getting closer and closer each and every season. Bernie Smilovitz is with us, legendary Local 4 sports broadcaster, who will be putting on a presentation with his good friend Devin Scillian coming up very soon right here in West Bloomfield called Permission to Laugh. Your tickets are available right now. You can get them in a couple of different ways. There's a link to purchase tickets on the Facebook page of the Jewish Historical Society of Michigan. That's at Jewish Historical Michigan on Facebook. And of course, if you're a member of either the Jewish Historical Society of Michigan or Temple Israel, that ticket will be free. Bernie, as we look toward parts of history and we look toward our modern days, and you lean toward this presentation in a time like this, as our community still very much is mourning from what happened at Temple Israel and is coping with that, coping with the intricacies of our society today. How do you hope that your storytelling with Devin Scillian on this night and the humor and the relationship building that comes out of this experience will maybe provide some sense of healing to our community?
I just want people to come and have a good time. I just want them to enjoy themselves. I promise you there'll be a lot of laughs. There's nothing better than a laugh. My wife, who has passed away 2.5 years ago, was a therapist and a doctor, a psychologist, and she always said there's nothing better than laughter. Whenever you can make someone laugh, whenever there is people are enjoying themselves, it makes them feel good inside. All you have to do is think about it yourself. If someone tells you something, laughing, and you begin laughing, you feel so good with that, and they feel good having made you laugh. So I just want people to come there, and I think they'll learn a few things, and I think they'll have fun. And Devin's a great newsman, and he'll ask the right stuff. It's funny because I said I got a text from him the other day, and he said, and Devin and I have worked together for 30 years, so he sent me a note. He goes, "Do you want?" They said, "Do you want to send Devin questions?" So I wrote him. I said, "We'll see you on the 17th." Blah blah blah. I was asked, "Do you want questions?" And my answer is, not only does he not want questions, he already knows all the answers. So he could do the whole speech by himself. We've done that. So, yeah, it was kind of funny, too. So we'll see. It'll be fun. I'm telling you, we'll have a great time that night.
And it's all about building relationships, too, and having an enjoyable time, building a sense of community, along with Devin and yourself. Bernie Smilovich joining us on The Splash Live. Bernie, one thing that you have to do as a journalist, and especially as a sports journalist, is build those relationships, communicate with people of all different walks of life and backgrounds. What lessons do you hope people can learn from what they'll hear from you and Devin in this conversation that they can apply each and every day to maybe make a more peaceful community here in our area and beyond?
Well, I'm in the middle of writing a speech called Permission to Laugh, and I think it's going to teach people, and some of what I'll talk about here at this speech will teach people how to laugh. Everybody has the ability to laugh, but not everybody laughs. So you have to kind of realize this can really help me psychologically. This could help with work too. I mean, there have been studies done by Harvard, Stanford, Wharton, CEOs. 98% of them want somebody with a sense of humor to work for them. They don't want a dull, motley crew just sitting around. They want people. You're energized when you're in a good mood and you have humor permeating around you. So I think they'll try to understand that, especially if there's some businessmen there. Maybe they'll latch onto it and take it with them, I would hope.
That would be a very well needed skill for them to take into their businesses each and every day, make for a more inviting environment and some creative freedom for the people around them as well. Bernie Smilovich, thank you so much. Appreciate you joining us for this. Any lasting message for the community as they get ready to join you coming up here in West Bloomfield?
No, I mean, everybody just have a great time and come and enjoy yourself, and we'll have a Q&A session, so bring lots of questions. I just always like to have fun no matter what I'm doing, so that's my whole goal in this thing. Let's go have some fun, have some laughs, and I think everyone will enjoy it.
It'll be a very good time. And
hey, by the way, good job on the questions. You're really good. I mean, you didn't mess around here. You came at me with the hot and heavy stuff. That's good.
Yeah, they gave me a list. I look at it. I'm just like, yeah, you know what? That's an interesting point. That's an interesting point. Close the list, and I go with the conversation. Best way to go about it.
They gave you the list of questions?
They gave me a list of questions
and I said,
as a guide. Yeah, that's what they do. Yeah. And I'm like, look, it's good to look at, to be like, get that next thought in your head. But we're just talking here. We're good.
That's very good. Yeah, you got it. You got it going.
Well, I appreciate your time, and thank you so much for the compliment, Bernie. We will definitely see you out in the community coming up very soon in West Bloomfield for Permission to Laugh. Thank you so much.
Let's do this once, and I'll ask the questions. You have the answers.
Absolutely. That sounds like a great plan for the future. Bernie Smilovich joining us on The Splash Live. Appreciate it.
Thank you. See you, Tyler. Great job.
Appreciate it, and appreciate you. Thank you for coming on the show today. Tickets for Permission to Laugh are available now. You can get them in a couple of different ways. On Facebook, there will be a link for that through the Facebook page of the Jewish Historical Society of Michigan. That's Facebook at Jewish Historical Michigan. And if you're a member of either the Jewish Historical Society of Michigan or Temple Israel, all you got to do is sign up for those tickets. Free of charge. You'll get in, get to have a lovely time and fun time, and be ready to laugh with Devin and with Bernie. They're going to have a fantastic conversation there for everybody in the community, something we all could use right now, a little bit more of a reason to laugh and to come together. That's our show. I want to remind you that television that's close to home is always online on civiccentertv.com and across our social media. Big thank you to our entire crew making the magic happen behind the scenes, and here's to you as well for being part of the adventure today alongside us. For our entire team, I'm Tyler Kieft. Live, local, social, this is The Splash Live on Civic Center TV.